to my granddaughter, say, I would say, don't worry, not to worry. Worry achieves nothing. Go through life living in the moment, enjoying the moment, and coping with when bad things happened, coping with them at the time that they happened. Failure is a way of learning, and like the old saying, it's not if you fall down is not a bad thing, but if you fall down and stay down, that's a bad thing. But falling down and picking yourself up and saying, oh, I shouldn't have done that, gone down that road or taken that turn, and going on, that's the only way to learn. Falling in love in the way, for instance, that my daughter did, that is a whole different thing, because that's based on learning about the other person and taking slow steps towards a deep, abiding affection and love with passion there, but it's a whole different procedure to across a crowded room and wham, bam, wow. That isn't sane. And also it's non-productive. It doesn't go anywhere. It burns itself out quite quickly, I believe. And as you know, Shakespeare is my god, really. And Shakespeare in Romeo and Juliet expressed that brilliantly, as he did everything else. But with Romeo and Juliet, he makes absolutely certain that you know that they're very, very young. This is not a mature emotion. You never really know another person. All you can know is you, yourself, and your ideas of what works and what doesn't. And you've got to remember that that works for you. And what works for you might not work for somebody else. And my best friend, my other best friend, she nearly divorced her husband because of tomato ketchup. They were madly in love. Everything about them worked. Everything was absolutely fabulous, except that he put tomato ketchup on everything. On bacon and eggs, on bouillabaisse, on chicken Kiev, on everything. Out would come and bang, bang, bang on the top, like the ad on television. And she rang me once and she said, Genevieve, I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. I didn't have the wisdom then to be able to say to her, just accept the tomato ketchup. Accept it. Because nobody is perfect, thank goodness. Nobody is absolutely perfect. So you've got to learn to, if you're going to live with somebody, you've got to learn, and that applies to the family as well as to marriage and to mothers and fathers, you've got to accept the imperfections of the person that you live with and your friends and your husband or wife or whatever. If you can't accept their imperfections, then don't have them in your life, because it's not going to work. But if you accept them as they are and value them as they are, not as you want them to be, you've got a great, great chance of having a very happy liaison, marriage, family life, whatever. And I was in the kitchen, and there were a few other people, and there was a wonderful discussion going on. And I was getting everything ready, and I was washing the dishes in the tap water in the kitchen, and at the rate of knots, because I didn't want to miss anything. And I was going like the hammers. And he said to me, "Stop." And I said, "What?" He said, "Genevieve, in the kitchen, stop." So I stopped. And he said, "Every time you do anything, do it beautifully. Every time you're going to do the most mundane things, the most ordinary things, just say, I'm going to do this perfectly." And it actually slows your whole metabolism down, and your enjoyment of life is increased and everything, rather than the way I instinctively, naturally go about things, which is at the speed of knots, so that I'm banging about, and because I don't like doing that particular thing is not an interesting thing to do. It's not an interesting thing to wash a whole lot of cups. But if you wash them beautifully and you look at them and you enjoy them as you're washing them, it changes your whole outlook. I know it sounds silly, but in fact it works.